Hi, my kitchen crew. Happy Sunday. I just got back from a nice run. It looks like it's about to rain outside, so perfect timing. I'm hungry. I can't wait for dinner. And tonight I am making crispy potatoes with Parmesan and pesto sauce. So I wanted to take you along with me, show you how I make them. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you the ingredients. All right, so you first want to start off with about 1.5 pounds of small potatoes. These are the ones I have today. They are really great, nice and soft, and they get really extra crispy on the outside. Any small potatoes will do. You can do fingerling potatoes, even sweet potatoes. Just know that the bigger the potato, the smaller you're gonna have to cut them. So these ones are already nice and tiny. I do suggest baby potatoes. They cook a little more evenly and they get nice and crispy. We have our pesto sauce here. I got this one from Trader Joe's. I have a nice block of Parmesan cheese that we're gonna be grating. This is one of my favorite seasonings. I get this at Publix. It's over in the deli where you have the raw dough and garlic bread making ingredients. It's a bread dip seasoning, but it has garlic and Parmesan. It's so good. So I like to throw this on there. I also have 2 cloves of garlic, some parsley, salt, pepper, and of course some olive oil. So let's go ahead, chop up the potatoes. We're gonna cut them in half lengthwise and throw them in our bowl. Okay, let's begin by chopping up the potatoes. I just wanna slice them all right in half, just like that. Nice and halved. Go lengthwise. We're gonna throw them into our bowl. Whoop. Couple more. Okay, that's all the potatoes. They're looking good, nice and sliced up. As I'm mixing the potatoes, my oven is preheated to 425. I have my cookie sheet preheating in the oven. So the cookie sheet is gonna come out, it's gonna be really nice and hot and give the potatoes, help to give them an extra crisp. So preheat your oven 425 while you're chopping your potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and add in olive oil. I would say about 3 tablespoons. Looks good. Now I'm gonna add in salt and pepper. Let me get all my seasonings open here. Let's crack in some salt. And pepper. And I'm gonna add on this breadcrumb seasoning as well. And let's go ahead and stir it all up. We want them to be pretty evenly coated with salt and pepper. All right, so these are ready to go on to the preheated cookie sheet. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and remove the cookie sheet from the oven. It's nice and hot, preheated. Let me make sure I move this over so you guys can see. And then we're gonna go ahead and place the potatoes face down, so flat side down, and space them out. You wanna give them enough room in between the potatoes so that enough of the heat circulates evenly. You're gonna go ahead and line them all down. Oop, they're slippery. I can already smell the garlic from the breadcrumb seasoning. It smells so good. Go ahead and finish lining your cookie sheet here. If you have a metal sheet pan, it works the best. It'll give it the, it conducts heat better. So if you have a metal sheet pan, use it. This is a metal cookie sheet. It'll really conduct that heat nicely. And last one here, get all the seasonings out from the bowl. Go ahead and place it face down. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven to bake. We're gonna roast them at 425 in case you missed that. I would say probably about 20 minutes, and then we'll go check on them. In the meantime, so we've got the potatoes roasting at 425 for about 20 minutes before we check on them. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw together my pesto sauce that we'll top them with when they come out of the oven. So I already have a pre-made pesto. I like mine a little more garlicky, so I'm gonna add some more garlic into my pesto in the mixing dish, as well as my parsley and my more of the breadcrumb seasoning. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually, instead of chopping up the garlic, I'm going to grate it. I want it to be really nice and fine. The heat of the potatoes will slightly cook your garlic right as we pull them out of the oven. So I want it to be grated. I want it real nice and fine so it kind of cooks a little bit and it's not so raw. So let's go ahead and grate some garlic here. Oh, it smells so flavorful. Okay. You know what? I don't think I actually need this second clove. This grated to be more than I thought. So this looks like enough. I'm gonna go ahead and add it into this little side dish here. And we're gonna grab out our tablespoon and mix in the pesto. All right, so I'm gonna mix it in there with the garlic. I'm actually gonna add a little more olive oil to that mixture. I want it to be a little bit more creamy to coat the potatoes a little more evenly. I'm also gonna add in parsley. And we're gonna add in more of the breadcrumb seasoning in here too. Okay, let's mix it all up. Okay, I actually want a little more olive oil. Perfect. So I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna scoop this onto the potatoes once they're done roasting. Next, we're gonna go ahead and grate our Parmesan cheese. So we've got our olive oil pesto mix ready. I love Burt's Bees, or Burt's Bees. I love Bees wrap, by the way. one of my favorite products. I use this instead of saran wrap to cover my cheeses. It keeps them really nice and fresh. So we're gonna go ahead and grate up lots of parm. So we're gonna sprinkle this over the roasted potatoes after they're finished. You want to make sure you use the medium size grate. You don't want the real large because the cheese will be too thick. It won't melt quickly. And you don't want the fine grate either. You just want this kind of in between medium thickness. That way the cheese will melt nice and quickly once we throw them on those potatoes after they're finished roasting. I'm going to do a little bit more than that. So I want about a cup. So that's about a handful of parm. Should be perfect. Okay, potatoes are done. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out of the oven. You can tell they're done. The tops start to look a little bit shriveled almost. And then underneath you'll see it's a nice, oh, those are hot, a nice roasted color here. So these are nice and done. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the oven. The next step is we're gonna quickly toss them in our, the same bowl that we mixed the oil and the herbs in. We're gonna throw them back in here real quickly. I don't want them to get too soggy, but we're gonna throw them back in here with our pesto, parsley, and a little bit more of the bread seasoning, okay? So I'm gonna grab my fork. We're gonna go ahead and get these off and throw them right into the bowl. Let me just dump the rest of these in here now. All right. So let's go ahead and scoop out our pesto that we have nice and mixed up. We're gonna just kind of dump it on in there. And we're gonna give it a good quick mix. These are real nice and crispy. I don't want them to get too soggy. You know, sitting in here, the steam can kind of make them get a little soggy. So we're just gonna quickly stir them all around. They smell wonderful. Okay, so we're mixing them all up in here. They're covered in pesto now. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in my serving bowl. And we're gonna go ahead and top them with the Parmesan cheese. Give it a good mix. All right, so as you can see, the parm quickly melts with the heat of the potatoes and they're ready to serve. I hope you guys enjoy.